The ship drifted in a quiet orbit above a pale blue moon. Inside the medical chamber, a tired human soldier named Aaron sat on a narrow bench. His uniform was torn, the edges burned from the last battle. He kept his shoulders straight, but anyone could see he had pushed through more than a single soldier should face. Across from him, the young alien princess he had saved lay in a circular healing cradle. Small lights shimmered over her skin, rebuilding the damage that could have ended her life. Aaron watched her in silence. He did not seek praise. He did not expect reward. He simply waited for her to wake. The events that brought him here started 10 days earlier. Aaron had been part of a small exploration crew assigned to map unknown territories. He had expected routine work. Chart a path. Install some beacons. Return home. Nothing unusual. But when his ship intercepted a distress signal from an unknown world, he knew his mission would be different. The signal was faint, almost broken, but it carried a plea for help in a tone anyone could understand. Fear, desperation, urgency. Aaron convinced his captain to follow the signal. When they reached the planet, the crew found signs of devastation. Tall trees sliced by energy blasts. Craters scattered across the soil. The structures on the surface were torn open, as if something had smashed through them in anger. Aaron volunteered to search the ruined site. He moved through the broken passages with his rifle steady and his breath controlled. Something felt wrong, but he pushed forward. He found the princess trapped under a collapsed support beam. She was injured and unconscious. Aaron did not know her identity then. He only knew she was alive and needed help. As he lifted the heavy beam and carried her to safety, a group of hostile warriors charged into the ruins. Their armor glowed with a cruel energy. They shouted commands in a rough language Aaron could not understand. He ran while carrying her, dodging blasts that burned the ground nearby. When he reached the extraction point, he shielded her with his own body as his crew pulled them up to safety. That moment changed everything. Aaron learned later that she was the daughter of a powerful queen of a distant star kingdom. The queen ruled many worlds with calm leadership. Her people valued peace, learning, and harmony. But they had enemies. The hostile warriors who attacked the princess belonged to a rival faction that sought control through fear. Saving the princess was not just an act of rescue. It was an act that prevented war. Aaron stayed by her side through the long journey to her homeworld. He did not leave her even when others assured him she would recover. Something inside him felt responsible. He wanted her to feel safe when she woke. He cleaned his armor. He helped the healers adjust the equipment. He even learned a few words of her language so he could greet her when she opened her eyes. When she finally regained consciousness, she looked at him with confusion, then with relief. She asked for his name in a soft voice. When he told her, she repeated it slowly, as though trying to understand the person behind it. She thanked him, her expression warm and grateful. Aaron tried to say it was nothing, but she insisted it was everything. He bowed his head in quiet respect. Upon reaching her homeworld, they were escorted to the grand hall of the palace. The queen waited on a towering throne, carved from crystal. Tall windows behind her revealed the shimmering cities of her kingdom. The air in the hall vibrated with restrained power. Aaron felt out of place in his worn uniform, but he stood tall. The queen stepped down from her throne. Her presence was graceful yet commanding. She looked at her daughter with deep affection, then turned to Aaron. She placed a hand on her chest and thanked him for saving the princess. Aaron lowered his gaze in respect, unsure how to respond. She instructed her staff to grant him the highest hospitality. For a few days, Aaron lived in a chamber with more comfort than he had ever known. He slept in a bed that adjusted to his posture. He ate meals prepared with delicate flavors. He walked through gardens where flowers floated in the air and glowed softly at night. But even with all the comfort, Aaron missed his home. He missed his crew. He missed the familiarity of human life. The palace was peaceful, yet it was not his world. After 3 days, he decided to request permission to leave. He made his way back to the grand hall and asked the guards if he could speak with the queen. They guided him inside. The queen listened patiently as Aaron explained that he wished to return to his people. He bowed and thanked her for her kindness. He assured her that he meant no disrespect. He simply wanted to go home. She studied him for a long moment. Her expression changed in a way he could not read. Then, in a calm voice, she said he could not leave. Aaron felt confusion rise in his chest. He asked if he had done something wrong. The queen said this was not punishment. It was necessity. She explained that the rivals who attacked the princess had learned that a human had taken part in the rescue. They now believed humans were forming alliances with her kingdom. They feared this possibility and saw it as a threat. If Aaron returned home, they might target any human colony they found. His departure could cause a new conflict. The queen declared that until she could guarantee his world's safety, he must remain within her domain. The word struck Aaron like a heavy weight. He understood the danger. He understood her reasoning. But the idea of being bound to a place not his own felt like a quiet cage. He tried to stay composed. He asked how long this situation might last. The queen answered that she did not know. She would not place innocent lives at risk. Aaron respected her decision, but his heart felt unsettled. He returned to his chamber. For the first time since arriving, the beauty of the palace felt distant. He looked at the sky through the window. Stars shimmered above him, each one a reminder of home. He wondered if his crew thought he was safe. He wondered if they had returned without him. He wondered if he would ever see his own world again. Later that day, the princess visited him. She walked in with careful steps, still recovering but strong. She asked if the queen had denied his request. Aaron nodded. She looked troubled. She understood his desire to return home, but she also understood her mother's concern. She told him she would speak to the queen again, but Aaron gently stopped her. He did not want her to fight a battle that would risk her safety again. Instead, he asked her to help him understand her world. If he had to stay, he wished to learn how to live here with respect and purpose. She smiled gently and agreed. Over the next days, she guided him through the deeper parts of the palace. She showed him the vast library where knowledge from many worlds was preserved. She introduced him to scholars who studied stars, culture, and history. She invited him to observe the training halls where guardians practiced defensive techniques designed to protect rather than destroy. Aaron began to understand the principles that shaped this kingdom. Healing over harm, wisdom over war, strength over cruelty. He found himself admiring their way of life. The princess encouraged him to learn their language. He practiced each night. He improved faster than he expected. The healers joked that his determination made him seem more native than outsider. One morning, the queen summoned Aaron again. She said she had watched him during his time in the palace. She had seen how he carried himself, how he treated her daughter, and how he respected their traditions. She told him that humans were rare among her people, yet he had earned trust. She explained that her kingdom needed bridges to other worlds. Not alliances of war, but connections of understanding. She asked if he would be willing to serve as a guardian of the princess until the threat from their rivals passed. Aaron felt the weight of the offer. He thought of home. He thought of his crew. He thought of the responsibility he carried when he chose to save the princess without hesitation. He accepted. The queen placed a ceremonial band on his arm, marking his new role. It glowed softly, adjusting to his form. The princess stood beside him, proud of his choice. She thanked him once more, this time not as a rescued passenger, but as a trusted companion. Aaron trained with the palace guardians. He learned techniques that used energy fields instead of bullets. He learned how to sense movement through vibrations in the ground. He learned how to communicate using the silent signals of their warriors. Every day was filled with new challenges. Every day he grew stronger. Months passed. Aaron became known among the palace staff as the human who stood between danger and the princess. He escorted her to councils. He walked beside her during ceremonies. He accompanied her on surveys of nearby settlements. Some citizens were surprised to see a human in such a role, but his quiet discipline earned their respect. During this time, the queen worked to track and negotiate with a rival faction. She knew peace must be secured before Aaron could return home. Her advisors worked tirelessly. Messages were exchanged. Boundaries were discussed. Slowly, tension softened. Aaron heard whispers of progress, but he did not ask for updates. He focused on the duty he had accepted. One quiet evening, the princess told Aaron that she admired his strength, not just in battle, but in spirit. She said he carried a calm assurance that gave her confidence. Aaron looked at her with humility. He said he only did what any decent person would do. She shook her head. She said many people talk about courage, but few live it. He appreciated her words, though he never thought of himself as remarkable. Finally, after months of effort, the queen summoned A.